Hey, what's going on, people? So I want to tell you about an experience working at a job called BJ's, and it's a YouTuber on here who happened to work at the very same one that I did. He doesn't post videos like me, but he can vouch for you that this job went to complete shit. And there's maybe some parts to it, but this can kind of go into when people say black people ruin your neighborhoods, black people ruin your jobs, black people ruin a lot of things when there's a large gathering of blacks. And Tommy Sotomayor sort of said this quote that I just said, but I want to tell you this, my story working there. So I happen to do a lot of things there. I worked outside doing carts. I worked indoors, stocking shelves. I even worked in the meat department. And around this time, I was getting out of doing restaurants. I did retail. And, the job was pretty diverse when I first started. But let me tell you, it's like I felt like I was working at like a mall in like the suburbs. And then over time, it just felt like a Popeyes or like a KFC like environment. I'm not even trying to be funny. It felt just like a Popeyes because over time, thanks to the George Floyd effect, a lot of the whites were either getting fired or they were leaving because they saw that when you give a black person a job, like a high position, they feel like the job will eventually become all black. And that's exactly what happened. So this is what happened. So the job was, you know, busted. I was able to catch the bus to work. I didn't have a car. And there were whites there that's been there for years. And they retired that year that I came or preceding that year because they just didn't like the environment it was in. It was pretty classy when they started, but it got real ghetto. It was a guy there who probably still works there to this day. He worked the front door. He every day in the break room, he was always saying, "I'm so sick of this place. I'm tired of it." And he I don't know what his condition was, but he had some kind of disability everybody sort of knew about. And I would just give him advice like, "Bro, you just like, I'm not telling you to quit, but like me, for example, I don't just stay anywhere I don't feel like I'm wanted or I don't feel like I'm going to thrive. I'll just go." But he stayed there for all those years. And one day he was just like, "I've been here 26 years and this is all I have to show for it." And I wanted to just say, like, now I would tell him, I wouldn't be rude about it, but I would tell him, like, you have the choice now to, change. Like, you could just leave and walk away now, because he had a lot of money stored because he didn't pay any bills. But um that job, like, he was there was a guy who, a white dude who worked the front door. It was he was talking about retiring the next year. It was a dude named it was a guy who got fired because he threatened to beat this old man up in the freezer. And let me tell you, a lot of the whites that were fired or left, they left because of the COVID-19 and the riots that took place. When COVID-19 happened, if you worked in a store during COVID, you dealt with a lot of assholes that felt entitled to get, for some reason, they wanted water, hand sanitizer, and Lysol in that order. If you didn't have that, they would curse you out, they would yell at you. And there was a big line, and there was security in there. We had like armed security. Let me tell you, the first day when COVID happened and I worked there, I literally thought it was like the beginning of, like, if you've ever seen that movie 2012, I think I saw that in theaters. Maybe I did, or maybe I just saw the trailer. But it felt like 2012 mixed with the apocalypse. I really felt like it was like a science fiction movie in the future. Because, like, why are all these people lined up outside? Why is it security in here? And I was told, like, the night before, because I only worked during the daytime, they were fighting. They were like having fist fights over water, and they have security in here now. So that was a sign right there that the job was going in a bad direction, because you have armed security in the store. They never needed that before. You know, let me tell you something about armed security. They are good and they're bad. Depending on how much you pay them, it's depending on how much they'll do their job. If you pay them $20 an hour, they'll get involved. But if you pay them $12 an hour, if you pay the company less money, you are bound to get a security guard who won't intervene. He'll just stand. It was a security guard who sat in the chair on his phone. He smoked a blunt inside the store, and he had some scary looking ass eyes. He looked like Lawrence. He looked like one of Lawrence Hilton Jacobs' sons mixed with T.I. That's just describing him. But the security guards there were useless. You know, one security guard. See, it was good security guards. They would get involved. They had guns because we were making money at the time. We had the money. The store had the money to pay for security. But when we didn't have the money to cover it anymore like that, we got these real inferior ass security guards. It was one security guard who literally just would stand in the vestibule all day, and he was on his phone the whole time. Somebody got cursed out by a customer, and he just watched this shit happen. And I made a joke. I was just like, I don't even think that's a real gun. It's probably like a piece of cake in like aluminum foil and it looked like a gun. And I think he heard me when I said that. But you know, I'm doing a part to it.